welcome to this episode of the Lovebird Lane vlog. I'm here, it's another week, it's only been a week, yay! I'm still not well. I'm probably going to have cuts in this again because I'm still coughing, mostly if I laugh, funnily enough. It's what's making me cough. This ear is almost completely blocked. I can hear barely anything. This ear is partially blocked, so I'm almost deaf really at the moment, which is kind of troubling. I can't hear my husband moving around me in the house and things like that. I completely missed my housemate coming home last night because I literally did not hear him either pull up the driveway, get through the back of the house and go to his bedroom. So like I did not hear anything last night, which was troubling. So yes, I am struggling with that at the moment. I'm trying a remedy if you've got anything that you can offer, but I am trying olive oil remedy to put it in my ear. So if my volume is a little over the top or not quite loud enough, it's probably because I can't actually hear properly. I can obviously hear myself within myself, but I don't know how loud I am projecting. So hopefully I'm not yelling at you and hopefully you can hear me. But yeah, I don't know whether it's an actual blockage in my ear canal or whether it's like behind my eardrum in my sinuses, but it's really annoying because I can't really hear a lot at the moment. But yeah, it has been a week. My housemate's been back at work all week this week, so that's been good. For those of you who don't follow me on social media, Granger had to have an operation this week, which was not entirely unexpected, but it was, we were hoping to put it off a little bit longer, especially seeing we've just bought a house. We really did not need a $1,000 surgery for the dog this week, but it is what it is. He had a fatty lump behind his ear that he's had for quite a while, and it happened to just keep growing, just filling with fluid. And it had had needle biopsies and things before and just came back as being like a fatty lump. So we weren't concerned about it. But then last Friday, we actually I haven't told you guys, we were approved for our home loan. So we have officially bought a house as of the 31st of May. So that's very, very exciting. We got accepted, our offer got accepted a few weeks ago, and then yeah, Friday we found out that we were approved for our home loan. So that's incredibly exciting, but now I'm going off on tangents. But yes, so Friday morning we found out that we were approved, and I immediately felt this level of calm that I hadn't had for quite a few weeks, because I obviously with my anxiety and things like that, I don't like phone calls and all the interaction with people. I'm very introverted. So it was really taking it out of me. And then once we got approved and I let everybody know that we were approved, I just felt really calm, like I had nothing else to do for the day, because it was all done basically. And then I walk into my bedroom. I'll try and keep this not very graphic, but I'll give you the gist. This fatty lump that Granger had on his head had ruptured. So that's all I'm going to say about that. You can use your imagination. It was not pleasant. So in the end, we had to take him to the vet on Friday because obviously there was an open wound on his body. And we took him to the vet, and the vet basically said the only way we can get this to heal, because it was an abnormal growth, is to cut it off and, you know, cut the skin that was there off and sew him up. And because he has also had a lump on his right eye, or his left eye, right when you look at him, that needed to be removed as well, because that was really irritating his eye. It was very red from this lump irritating his eye. So, all right, we'll kill two birds with one stone. So we took him in on Monday. He had the lump removed and the lump removed. And yeah, basically this week has been looking after him, and he's got a bucket on his head, poor fella. And unfortunately they had to take a third of his eyelid, with the lump, because the lump actually was a lot bigger than what they were expecting, and it went really far back under his eyelid. So yeah, unfortunately they had to take a third of his eyelid out, which was quite sad because now he's all sort of squinty on one side. He's still a little bit swollen at the moment, so that's obviously closing his eye up a fair amount. And yeah, so his eyes are never going to look the same. And apparently it eventually will stretch. It should stretch a bit more so that he can see a little bit better. At the moment he's only sort of half masked on that eye. Like, I can see his pupil, so he must be seeing sort of half. But yeah, poor fellow is like now going to be squinty. But yeah, he's doing all right. He doesn't appear to be in any pain, and yeah, he's been a real good sport with getting eye drops and things like that. He never lost his appetite, which you know, he's not really surprising for Granger. And yeah, he didn't get sick at all. Here he comes. He's coming to say hi. Hello, buddy. Am I talking about you? Am I? Hey, you gonna come and show everybody your bucket? Hey? Yeah. I was talking about you. You might be able to just see his eye in the bottom corner if he turns towards the camera. So it looks a bit wet at the moment, but that's only because of the ointment that we have to put on it to keep it from getting infected. So yeah, poor fella. Hey, poor fella. He's been wanting lots of cuddles and things like that this week. So I've just been here most days with him, just keeping an eye on him, making sure he's not getting up to mischief and he's not going to bust any stitches or anything like that. So yeah, isn't that right, Bubba? Yeah, poor fella. Alright, so Granger has stayed just down in front of me. So yeah, I've had quite a busy week. We got our forms for our home loan. They had to get signed and sent back, and talking to conveyancers, and because our house that we're buying is tenanted, I've been talking to property managers about the tenants and things like that. So it's just, it has been a bit of a full-on week, but I'm hoping now things are getting back to normal. And as such, I'm thinking I'm probably going to go back to starting to dye yarn again next week. So I still have my 20% off in the shop. That will be stopping next week when I get back to dyeing again. So if there's anything in the shop that you have had an eye on and you want to get it for 20% off, you have until, I'll leave it until Tuesday, because this will go up Monday for general viewing. So I'll leave it up until Tuesday next week. Granger has decided to join us again, if you do want anything. So there's that. If you do have any requests for what you'd like to see in the shop, please do let me know as well. You can do that at hello@lovebirdlane.com or in the comments below, whatever you would like. However you would like to do it. Yes, I know, my darling. I am talking to my vlog viewers. Yes. You're being very silly. Yes, you are. You're being very silly. Oh my goodness. I think Granger's going to be here for this entire thing. So, yeah. If you keep seeing a cone popping up at the bottom of the screen, it's because he is still here. Alright, maybe we'll get on to what I have been working on. That's why I've been doing lots of blathering, because there's not really much crafting content to speak of as such. I have obviously been doing some stuff, but it's very hard to see on one of them, which is my No Frills Cardigan, which I showed you guys last week. I have gotten onto the dark grey section, and I have done most of a sock, actually, my newest Helen Stewart Sock Society socks. So I have that to show you. Let's get on with it. Alright, so I managed to get Granger back to bed. He's all wrapped up with his blanket now, so hopefully he won't bother us again. But let's get on with the sock first. I always like to start with socks for some reason, don't I? So, like I said, this is the third pattern from Helen Stewart's Handmade Sock Society 4. So, this one's a little bit harder to see. It's a very, very subtle design. It is a toe-up sock, obviously, which is not usually my jam, but I know how to do it, so I'm quite comfortable doing that. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard to see, because I have finished the foot. There was a really interesting construction of the heel flap, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, I have my full foot, and I'll show you the front. So this was just, I can't remember what the name of the cast on is. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Maybe I'll put it in a little thing at the bottom here. So, I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with it for toe-up socks. So this is the Spinifex sock, and it is so subtle you might not even see it. Just in here, there is a little star stitch. So it's mostly reverse stockinette, like these rows of reverse stockinette with the occasional star stitch in there, and then just these ribbing rows, or ribbing columns, I suppose is the right thing to say. And yeah, I worked on this a lot yesterday actually. I think I was only kind of, this is the only thing I worked on yesterday. I think I was sort of just here. I'd done the toe and I was maybe halfway through the foot. So yesterday I just sat down, started knitting this, and got my gusset happening there. You might be able to see that if I can get it to focus. So you can see the gusset increases just in here. And then this really cool heel flap. So it actually looks like a top-down sock heel flap and gusset, which is fascinating. I have done toe-up socks before, and I have either done my Fish Lips Kiss heel, or I have done a different type of heel. The socks, the pattern is called the Time Traveler socks, and that is the only other toe-up heel that I have done, and that creates more of like a V-shape, what do you call it, not gusset, a V-shape heel flap on the back. So yeah, to actually do a toe-up sock that has this very much looking like a top-down sock heel flap was really, really interesting. I really enjoyed the process. And I think almost I prefer the toe-up heel flap to the top-down heel flap, because if you've knit socks, you know that doing the cuff down heel flap, you basically work those stitches backwards and forwards till you have the flap, and then you pick up stitches down the side, and then you decrease down to your original stitch count. Whereas here, you don't necessarily do the heel flap like that, because every side of the heel flap, because you put a marker in, so at the edge of the heel flap you'll have a marker, and then you'll do your ribbing, like your slip stitch section to the marker, and then you'll do a decrease on the other side of the marker. So yeah, it creates this look like you've picked up the stitches down the side of the flap, but you're actually doing decreases on either side to get back down to your original sock stitch count. Alright, so that is the sock so far. It remains stockinette on the back and just continues these columns up the front of the sock, and then there's a twisted rib at the top. The only downside I perceive for toe-up socks is I can never get a clean bind off at the top. Like, so obviously you've got to use a stretchy bind off so that you can put the sock on, because if you don't have a stretchy bind off, then how do you know, you're not going to be able to get it over your foot and your leg. But for some reason, the way I have done it in the past, I've always ended up with this really floppy bind off. It's never been a nice, neat, clean bind off. So I'm hoping Helen has got something up her sleeve that is going to make it a little bit better. It's the I can never remember their names. It's Jenny and somebody else, but it's the Seriously Stretchy bind off is the one that I've done previously, and I can never get it to be neat. It always looks a little bit wibbly wobbly, and I don't care for it. It makes me look like I've got what do you call them? If you recall, like the tube socks that you wear when you're a little kid, and you've got that little lace section around the top that you sort of fold over. Yeah, my hand knit socks with the stretchy bind off kind of remind me of that, because they're that, like, they come out a little bit wibbly wobbly, a bit like the lace section. So yeah, I don't care for that really. That's why I tend to do top down socks. But yeah, hopefully Helen's got something up her sleeve to have a bit of a cleaner, stretchy bind off. And I'll just talk quickly about the yarn. This is my own yarn. This is a BFL nylon base that I am trialing. Oh, I think I almost need a buttermenthol or something. My throat is not living up to this. So yes, this is a BFL nylon that I am testing. My previous BFL nylon was a 75-25. This is an 80-20, so it's a higher level of wool in this. And my previous one was very, like a very tight, smooth yarn. And I actually find that I prefer this sort of high twist, slightly fluffier plied yarn for sock yarn. I do really like the look of this. It has also got a slightly, this one is less yardage per skein, however it's a fluffier kind of yarn, so yeah, I think I prefer this. I think I will swap to this because it's like it just feels nicer. I like the fact that it's got the higher level of BFL in there. So this is probably what I'm going to use going forward. But this colorway here is my colorway Bereft, and it is one of the ones that I used in my, what's it called? I'm looking at it right here. It's on my dress form. Slipstravaganza, that's the one. It doesn't actually look exactly the same as what is in my Slipstravaganza, because this, obviously it's different base. This one looks far more purple. The one that I used in my Slipstravaganza looks really brown. So I guess that also just depends on batches and things like that, how the yarn dyes up. So I'm pretty pleased with how it's knitting up, because there's black in there, there's brown, there's purple, there's little shots of pink occasionally. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's knitting up. I really like this colorway. So yeah, I guess some of that will be in the shop at some point. I do have some skeins that need to be listed, and there is some in this colorway, plus the other contrast colors that I did use in my Slipstravaganza. Maybe I'll put in a photo of the Slipstravaganza so that you can see what I'm talking about. And I've just noticed that I'm slouching again, and then I'm getting down here, which is very naughty. I should be having my eye level at about top third. Anyway, that's videographer speak. But anyway, that is my socks, and I will get on to the only other thing that I have been working on. Alright, so I have been working on my No Frills cardigan, and I have finally gotten to the point where I only have 2 balls of yarn on it now. I have completed the pink section. So, as you saw last week, I have this silver section at the top, then I have my pink section, and now I'm up to the dark grey on the bottom, which has made it a whole heap easier to knit. And I now only have 2 balls of yarn attached to it. So as I said last week, this is a pattern by, well, I didn't say it I don't think, but it would have been in the sidebar when it popped in. Petite Knit is the pattern designer, and I am knitting this from Knit Picks Gloss, which is their 70-30 I think, silk and merino blend. And I am holding it double with a skein of mohair in my graphite colorway. It's one that I dyed up. So it's just the grey mohair is just sort of pulling it all together and giving this wonderful mild colour. And yeah, I'm down to the grey section. I believe I'm probably close to putting in the spot for my pockets. I think I had to knit 34-ish centimetres down from the armhole. So I think I'm just about there. So I should probably measure that before I knit any more on this, because it's probably nearly time for pockets. Although she does say to try it on first to see if the pocket placement is correct. So I will probably do that. But yeah, not a whole heap to see other than the fact that there's now a grey stripe at the bottom. But yeah, I'm just working away on this from time to time. It has been quite lovely in these cooler days. We are getting quite chilly here now, coming into winter, and it's actually quite lovely to have draped over my lap while I'm working on it, because I've been finding my lap is getting very, very cold, and I don't know what that's about. But yeah, it's actually been quite nice to have this just sort of draped over me as I am knitting, because as we all know, mohair is lovely and warm. So it's been really lovely to have that over my lap. And yeah, it's getting there. It is getting there. I have yet to do any more on Simon's cardigan. One of my patrons, Natalie, actually mentioned a really cool way of trying to figure out the button band. She said her mum used to knit about 3/4 of the length of the section that she needed to attach it to and stretch it that extra quarter. So I will have to try that. Thank you, Natalie, for that tip. It made a lot of sense to me to do it that way. So yeah, thank you so much for the tip, and I will definitely be giving that a try at some point. Simon will get his sweater. It will happen. I just don't know when, because I want my cardigan. It's the battle of the priorities for the cardigan at this point. Of course, I want my no frills cardigan, and Simon, I mean, he probably doesn't care, honestly. But I would like Simon to have his cardigan at some point. But yeah, that's all I've been working on. That is it. You've even got a little bit of blather up the front. Hopefully all of that made sense with the overlapping stories. But I think what I might do is go and get some butter menthol and have a drink. Try and calm my throat down, because I've been coughing on and off. You will not have noticed that, because I would have cut them all out. But yeah, hopefully next week I won't be coughing and I will actually be able to hear out of my ears. So we'll see how we go. But yes, if you do have any tips for unblocking ears after having colds and things like that, please do let me know down in the comments. It's driving me nuts to not be able to hear out of one ear. But yeah, I think I will leave it there. I hope you are all very, very well, and until the next time I talk to you, happy knitting, happy crafting, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!